My two favorite doggos in the whole world, just sitting out here enjoying the winter sun. Archer, are you sleepy? Lana, thank you for not pestering him. Now you're gonna pester me, I gotta go. I'll be back. Love your pretty honey eyes. Don't you chew on that. I don't even know why it's out here. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm off to go get the groceries from Walmart that I ordered last night, and then I'm going to get my medication from the pharmacy. I have only done my eyebrows, which look bad because they're not even. But I don't have Q-tips to fix my makeup, so I gotta go buy them eventually. It looks more pointier than this one. Ugh. Oh well. I haven't done my hair. I just brushed it. I haven't dyed my hair still. Can't afford to, but maybe I will in a few days. But I'm wearing my nice cute outfit today with my grandma sweater and pearls, and I don't care what anybody says, I like it. But oh well. Alright, so I'm going to start driving now, and then I'll probably start vlogging whenever I bring in the groceries and I start putting it away. So I'll do a time lapse of that so you can see how and where everything goes. Alright, bye. I'm going to cut that out. This sounds weird, like I'm on a phone call.
Well, I don't know, but I've been told uranium ore's worth more than gold. Sold my cad, I bought me a Jeep, I got that bug and I can't sleep. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, I had a talk with the AEC and they brought out some maps that looked good to me. And one showed me a spot he said he knowed, so I straddled my Jeep and headed down the road. I reckon I drove about 100 miles down a bumpy road out through the wilds, when all of a sudden I bounced to a stop at the foot of a mountain, didn't have no top. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, I took my Geiger and I started to climb right up to the top, where I thought I'd find a hunk of rock that'd make it click just like I'd read about Vernon Pick. On the second day I made the top, and I'm telling you, Steve, I was ready to stop. The only clicking that I heard that day was the bones in my back that had gone astray. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever, it's spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, you pack up your things, you head out again into some unknown spot where nobody's been. You reach the spot where your fortune lies. You find it's been staked by 17 other guys. Well, I ain't kidding, I ain't gonna quit. That bug's done caught me and I've been bit. So with a Geiger counter and a pick in my hand, I'll keep right on staking that government land. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, I don't know, but I've been told uranium ore's worth more than gold. Sold my cad, I bought me a Jeep, I got that bug and I can't sleep. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, I had a talk with the AEC and they brought out some maps that looked good to me. And one showed me a spot he said he knowed, so I straddled my Jeep and headed down the road. I reckon I drove about 100 miles down a bumpy road out through the wilds, when all of a sudden I bounced to a stop at the foot of a mountain, didn't have no top. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, I took my Geiger and I started to climb right up to the top where I thought I'd find a hunk of rock that'd make it click just like I'd read about Vernon Pick. On the second day I made the top, and I'm telling you, Steve, I was ready to stop. The only clicking that I heard that day was the bones in my back that had gone astray. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever, it's spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down. Well, you pack up your things, you head out again into some unknown spot where nobody's been. You reach the spot where your fortune lies. You find it's been staked by 17 other guys. Well, I ain't kidding, I ain't gonna quit. That bug's done caught me and I've been bit. So with a Geiger counter and a pick in my hand, I'll keep right on staking that government land. Uranium fever has done and got me down. Uranium fever is spreading all around. With a Geiger counter in my hand,
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
uranium fever has done and got me down.
Okay, just for the fun of it, I have my binder full of religious study. It's something that I actually used to do when I had a job. I worked in a hotel and I worked the creepy night shift, graveyard shift from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. and it was usually dead, except for the occasional meth head or whatever junkie and alcoholics coming in to get a room and then forgetting they got a room and then getting another room and forgetting they got that room and so on and so forth. So in between those visits from them, I would actually sit and search up on the internet various things on religion, and if I felt like I really enjoyed that study, that research, I would print it out and then I would put it in a binder, which I've gone through 3 different binders because it has grown, and this so far is the biggest binder I have found that can hold the stuff. And I don't know if you can really tell, but it's time for a new binder, a bigger one, if those exist. But I figured since it has come up a few times and it's been a few years since I've actually drug this out because I've been more into the political discussions versus the religious discussions, but it's been coming up more and more about how Islam is definitely not the same as Christianity, and Allah is definitely not God. 2 separate entities, 2 separate religions. Islam is evil, Christianity is peace and love. Well, that's just stupid, because they're both stupid. But Islam is like missing pages of the Bible, I guess, in a way. It was created 500 years after the Bible was written, I believe, if I remember my notes correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it was created 500 years after, kind of like filling in the blanks of like where there were contradictions or misinformation or confusion in the Bible. Well, the Quran comes in and fills in those spots, and it kind of makes sense when you read it. When you read them both, it makes sense. Like everything starts falling into place, and you get, oh, okay, now that makes sense. I mean, it still doesn't make me a believer. I really don't think there's a God, but it makes more sense when you read all the holy books. I wouldn't say like in order, because there's no like in order. It's just each book kind of fills in the blanks of every other book. So like you have the Torah, the Hadith, or I don't know how you say it. There are so many different books. There's the Quran, there's the Bible, of course, and well, gosh, I did have a list. I don't know. Give me a second. Oh, Hadith. Hadith is one of them. Book of Knowledge. I don't know. There's really just a lot. And a lot of the names I can't even pronounce. But when you read those, and I have not read all of the books. I briefly touched up on the Mormon stuff, but that's kind of like a fake religion. So kind of ignore that. Just kind of ignore the Mormons and their crazy planet shit and magical underwear. But I think the major religions are, obviously Islam, Christianity, and then, the Jewish faith. They all coincide together when you put all their holy books together and their traditions and their beliefs, then it all makes sense. But real quick, I'm going to read you similarities between Islam and Christianity, and there are a ton more. I'm not going to go through my entire book right now, but I wrote down very quick things. I don't know, just things that I found immediately. Okay, so the first one, the Ten Commandments. Both Islam and Christianity have identical commandments. Actually, I think I can read you the list real quick, just so you can see from the Islam point of view. Here we go. 10 Commandments. So, and you tell me, because this is from the Quran. This is word for word from the Quran. And you tell me if it sounds familiar. First commandment, you shall have no other gods before me. Second commandment, you shall not make idols. Third, you shall not make or take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Fifth commandment, honor your father and your mother. Sixth, you shall not murder, which, believe it or not, a lot of religious people ignore that part, whether it be Muslims or Christians. Seventh commandment, you shall not commit adultery. Another one everyone ignores. Eighth commandment, you shall not steal. Ninth, you shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. A lot of Christians do that. 10th commandment, you shall not covet. So, do those sound familiar? Yes, they do. But for some reason, Islam's a whole another thing. Doesn't coincide with Christianity. Crazy how it kind of has the same fucking shit. Okay, so number 2 of similarities. Virgin birth. Islam and Christianity both agree Jesus was born of a virgin. And we have that in the Quran, 19:16 through 26, and Isaiah in the Bible, 7:14. You can check the facts on that. Fact check that. Eternal judgment. Muslims and Christians agree heaven and hell exist, though you will get different things in each heaven and in each hell. Both hells have torment, but specifically in Islam, you will be drinking boiling water, which is a weird, specific thing to say, but okay. And of course, in heaven, you get your virgins and all that cool stuff for the Muslims, but there's a heaven and a hell for both religions. Holy inaccuracy. Both the Quran and the Bible claim it is without error or contradictions. Yet they both contradict themselves because they are full of errors and contradictions. That's why you have to have all the books together, and then it makes sense. Because just those books alone make zero sense. Treatment of women. Ooh, for the feminists out there who think Islam is all okay with women and Christianity is all, against women. Well, they both believe that, hold on, I lost my spot. Both Islam and Christianity believe that women must obey their husbands. Although Islam specifically says that the woman is property, And in the Bible, it does say the woman is to be loved, as if the man loves his own body. But still, they are both saying a woman must obey their husband. Jesus, in Islam. Muslim traditions and Christianity believe Jesus will return to earth near the day of judgment to restore justice and defeat the Antichrist. However, I have a thing about that. Like, who is the Antichrist, right? We know who the Antichrist is. Someone who says, you know what, before I start talking nonsense, let me read. Okay. The Antichrist is someone who says that he's like God or something, or a false prophet, right? Like something like that. Okay, well, Jesus claimed to be God. He accepted worship, forgave sins, lived a sinless life, possessed all the attributes of God, and raised himself from the dead. But he claimed himself to be God. And that's what the Antichrist does, right? This would imply that Jesus is the Antichrist, or a false prophet. Well, that's just what I'm getting from my notes anyways. But what's interesting is that in Islam, in the Quran, Jesus was not God. Jesus was not Son of God. Jesus was just a prophet. So also, if Islam is separate from Christianity and has nothing to do with the Bible, has nothing to do with the Christian God, has nothing to do with Christianity at all, period, point blank, why does the Quran have all the same characters? You got Moses, you got Aaron, you have John the Baptist, you have Jesus, you have Mary, you have Joseph. You have all these characters, these important characters in the Quran. And all their stories tie in with the biblical characters. But yet, it's separate. Like, that just don't make any sense to me, that you would say that Islam is not Christianity. It's just 500 years, later, that is filling in the blanks of the Bible. And in Revelation, it says that you cannot, there's nothing after the Bible. You can't recreate or add onto it or have it in different languages or altered. So that's why the Christians don't really take the Quran, to heart, because, like, it's an alteration, right? No, not really. It's just 500 years later, they're filling in the fucking blanks that the Bible left. So, I don't consider that an alteration. I consider that filling in the fucking blanks. But the Bible has so many alterations. It has been translated. Things have been added to it. Things were taken out of it. Revelation actually was added to the Bible after the fact. So someone just decided, like, hey, we should probably stop, adding to the Bible. So let's just go ahead and make up this law saying that you can't add to the Bible anymore because we're done adding to it. No more editing. The book is done. It's finished. It's just so silly. But okay, I just wanted to add that, and I think I'm going to end this vlog, and I don't know if I don't have any more chores to do. I'm just going to play Call of Duty, I guess. Well, actually, no, I'm going to edit this video, upload it, post it, and then I'm going to play some Call of Duty. But hopefully you enjoyed my vlog, and I will see you later. Thank you for watching. Mwah.